All right, so we're starting another batch today. This time we're doing some Sangiovese grapes, which are Italian grapes. We'll show you here what we got going on. So we have these tubs filled with grapes here. Several tubs. Picked them this morning out at the vineyard. So then what we're doing now is we're doing a little crushing. So first we got some grapes rolled into this crusher here that I rented. We tried doing it by hand last time. It was just way too much work. I'm going to push these over here a little bit. And then what we're doing is we're running them through this crusher so it takes the stems out and then crushes the grapes so we get the juice out of them, but it also takes the stems out. This is a destemmer crusher. So we'll do this today with all these grapes and then get ready for fermenting. So we'll do a video afterwards before we start our cold soak. Here we are, the grapes have been crushed and now they're inside these 5-gallon plastic jugs. And they're sitting in a bath of ice cold water. We're doing what's called a cold maceration now, and this will help extract some of the beautiful colors and aromas and flavors and stuff out of the grape skins first. There's an enzyme that's been put in there too that'll help do that, help draw the colors and stuff out. So this will be a nice inky purple when we go to do the fermentation. We'll put some tannins in there today, some what we call sacrificial tannins. And so during fermentation, some of the tannins that we're soaking out now don't get used up during fermentation. So we'll add those today. And then this will sit for about 4 days. And then we'll get ready for pitching the yeast and doing the fermentation. So we'll come back and do a video then. Bye. All right, so it's been 4 days that we did the cold soak. And so now we're doing fermentation. So I just pitched the yeast in. And both this is a 30-gallon, this is a 30-gallon fermenter. So I have two 30-gallon fermenters filled with Sangiovese grapes. And so when we get to the pressing part, we'll do a video on that. But right now they're in the fermenter ready to go. I just pitched the yeast. And so hopefully tomorrow we'll start getting caps and I'll check in with you guys then and do a video with the cap press, that part of the fermentation. So see you then. All right, so here we are, like the second day, and the cap is formed on the fermentation that's going on. So we're going to go ahead and check in on the Sangiovese grapes and see how they're doing and push the caps down. We'll show you how that's done. All right, so this is the 30-gallon stainless steel fermenter. So we're going to go ahead and lift the top off of this. That's the grape cap. These are grapes that are being pushed up by carbon dioxide gas during the fermentation. So what we're going to do is we're just going to push these down to get them back into the liquid, get them wet again. This is called pressing the cap. So we're going to do this. You can see it's pulling some nice colors out of these grape skins. It also gets oxygen into the must. It keeps the grape skins from drying out because we want to get as much of the wonderful flavors and colors and tannins and stuff out of these grapes. This is a Sangiovese grape, so the color on this, it tends to get lighter than some of the other red grapes out there. So we want to draw as much skin, colors and stuff out of the skin as we can, so we can have a beautiful colored wine here. So that is the stainless fermenter. So let's go check out the other one that I'm doing in a brute trash can. Okay, so this is the 30-gallon brute trash can that we're also fermenting in. So between the two of these fermenters, there's 400 pounds of Sangiovese grapes that were grown locally. So we're going to press the caps down on this one too. We got the temperature on both of these up around 84 degrees, which is great for drawing more of the tannins and flavors and stuff out. And then we're going to let this cool down now and get it down into the mid to low 70s, which is perfect to finish the fermentation in. So we do this to get oxygen into the must and to keep the grapes wet. We don't want them drying out and getting moldy or anything like that. So, all right, we do this about 3 times a day. Keeps things fermenting, keeps things good the way we want it. And we'll check back in on it later. All right, here we are, day 8, and I just checked the gravity on the Sangiovese in the Wine Easy, and that is 0.990. So I did the calculations, and it looks like it's 14.89%, so 14.9% alcohol, which should be a nice bold wine. So today we're going to go ahead and do a pressing on it and press the grapes and stuff and draw the wine out of the fermenter. So we're going to show you how that's done. Drained a little bit out of the fermenter just so we can get the press piston in. So this is the Blickman Wine Easy here. So we're going to show you, we got the press piston in. And then what we did is we hooked up the pump, and it's going to put some pressure on this bottle here and suck all the air out, and it's going to draw all the wine through there out of the fermenter. And we should be able to pull this piston down and press on top of the grapes to get all the juice out. So we'll see what we get from it. All right, so we're ready to go here, pressing these grapes. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up this valve here. Get the wine flowing out, and we'll turn on the pump to start drawing the air out and drawing that piston down. Now ideally we should be able to get 2 of these 6.5 gallon carboys out of this, so about 13 gallons of wine. So we'll see, we're going to have to cut this off here when this gets full and switch over to the other carboy. This pump's creating pressure. It's just shaking around a lot, the pump, the pressure meter on the pump. It's a really effective way of doing pressing. We just want to make sure we get as much wine out of the grapes, skins and stuff as we can. This is how wineries do it, but they do it on a large scale, normally with a bladder press. This makes it easier to do it at home. It's filling up pretty quickly. Then once this is full, I'll check the piston and make sure it's going down like it's supposed to. I'm supposed to be spraying some sulfite solution to keep it lubed too. All right, it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. See some bubbles, that's from CO2 gas. So we're going to stop the pump now while this thing gets filled up. So we don't want it overflowing. All right, we can, it's still filling. We want it all the way up to the neck. Keep the oxygen limited. So we're about a little bit more. Good, right there. All right. So we're going to switch carboys now. So we'll pull this out. We'll bring this over here. Let this drain in somewhat. And then put it in here. And then we need to repressurize this carboy, but we'll put an airlock on this to keep air from getting into that. We'll move this out of the way. It's some beautiful color on that wine. This is Sangiovese grape, so it's going to be more red than it is purple, like some of the other grapes. But, and then we'll go ahead and turn on the pump, open this up. And draw more. Draw more wine out of this. I guess still spray some sulfite solution on the top. Keep the piston lubed. Filling up the second carboy now. I may need to sanitize the third one before this goes full, which is not a bad thing. More and more CO2 bubbles are coming out. All right, so we're going to let this sit for a minute and we'll be right back. All right, so we're letting it sit for a little bit under pressure to try to squeeze more juice out of the grapes. So we'll let some more run out, and then what we'll do is we'll cut it off, and then we'll probably have to wait 35 to 40 minutes or so after this to extract more juice, and then when I'm done, I'll come back and show you what we got. But let's pump a little bit more out of this. So we'll turn on the pressure, build up the pressure inside the carboy, then we'll draw more of the wine out. Watch our pressure gauge, still fairly active, moving back and forth. Drawing more carbon dioxide and wine out. So all the carbon dioxide goes up, so it gets stuck under the piston. All right, so we'll leave it under pressure now. We'll come back. We'll let it sit for about half an hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour, and then we'll extract more juice from it. And then when I'm done, I'll actually come back and continue the video and show you how much we were able to draw out. All right, we're done with the pressing. We ended up getting 2 6.5 gallon carboys and almost another gallon out of it. So that's about 14 gallons of wine out of this, which is a good yield. And let's take a look at the what the grape skins and stuff look like inside. All right, here we are inside the fermenter. You can see the grapes are pretty dry. It got a lot of the wine out of it, which is the whole goal. So this is called pumice, which is basically just the spent grapes from winemaking. So we'll scoop this out and get this into the yard bin that we have here. But did a good job of extracting all the wine out of this, and so we'll go check in on the carboys and keep you up on the progress of how this wine's coming along. All right, so we're going to work on crushing, pressing the grapes from the second half of the 400 pounds of Sangiovese grapes. So this, we're using a bladder press for this run instead of the Wine Easy that we did for the first 200 pounds. So I've got it in a Brute trash can here. We're going to scoop them in there and do the pressing so you guys can see what's going on. All right, so we took the top off the bladder press. We got the washer here. We got all the parts here. All right, and so then what we need to do is make sure that the screen is set, because that's what presses, the bladder presses the grapes against. And then we're going to open up the trash can. So what we're going to do is I'm going to scoop the grapes from here into the bladder press, and you'll see the free run running down here into the carboy out of the grapes, and we'll just fill up this bladder press with the grapes and the juice. And that free run juice will come out into the, we're going to prop up the back leg on this just to make it so it runs easier. We use a deck of playing cards. Put a little tilt to this. There we go. That gets the free run juice running easier into the carboy. And then we'll just keep pouring the grapes into the we put the strainer here to catch some of the seeds. Need to adjust this. It's hitting the funnel a little better. Gently pouring it because it'll splash everywhere if we don't. Letting the free run juice come out into the funnel, going into the carboy. And then once I fill up the bladder press, we'll come back and I'll show you how the bladder press works. All right, so we got the bladder press filled now, and so what we're going to do is we're going to put this cover on it so it doesn't squirt everywhere, because otherwise it will squirt when the grapes are squeezed against the grate here. So we're going to cover this up. And then this will, anything that squirts off will run down the sleeve into the well and allow it to run into the carboy. It's all been sanitized, so it's good. I tend to be a little anal on my sanitizing. Sanitize everything. So you can still have some free run coming out of it. But what we're going to do is we'll turn on the hose. So hold on a second. This is an hydraulic bladder press. So to start filling it up, we're just going to turn this knob right here.
Go.
What? What?
The thing's not all the way down, and it's going to squirt out on this side.
What thing's almost not?
The sleeve is not covering all of it on this side.
Yeah, it's fine.
The whole point is to not make a mess, right?
Yeah. Okay. Got it. All right. So we're going to head and start turning the press on. We don't want to turn it on too quickly. We just want to turn it on so we start getting some juice out and it starts pulling up.
Can you fix that so that make sure it's going in? Awesome.
So now it's starting to squeeze the. We'll turn this off to slow it down. Control it this way. And then we'll keep doing this until the grapes are pretty dry. And then we'll fill it back up again. So we'll check in with you once we're done doing all the pressing. All right, we're done with the pressing of the grapes for the Sangiovese out of the Brute trash can. We've got 7, 13, 14, about 15 gallons of wine out of it, which is really good. So I'll keep you guys posted on this as we move forward. Same with the other Sangioveses that were in the Wine Easy. So we've got four carboys, 4 6.5, 7 gallon carboys filled with wine, and then we have 2 1 gallon carboys filled with wine, and another 3 gallon that's got probably about another gallon in it. So we're doing pretty good with wine. So we're gonna let these settle out, and then we'll transfer them, and then we'll be back to show you guys the transfer. Bye.